Kevin Sherd. He is a national youth advocate. Grew up in West Baltimore.
Yes.
Nice to see you.
Thank you.
And you were telling me that when you were younger, you were one of these kids.
I was one of these kids in and out of trouble, in the streets, making bad decisions.
You served about 12 years in federal prison?
Almost 12, yes. I started dealing drugs at age 16. So the West Baltimore is my neighborhood. I know this West Baltimore very, very well. I know these kids very, very well. They were engaged in this madness yesterday. They're not horrible kids, but they made bad, they did something pretty stupid, but they're not horrible bad kids, and they can be saved. And I just think that, you know, the term thug, and I don't think that's a great description.
Saved how? What's the next step?
They need support. We need to continue to mentor them. We need to continue to push them to get their education, because that's the key to success, education, and we know that. And we need to understand them. A lot of these kids are dealing with pain. A lot of these kids have substance abusing parents. A lot of these kids are dealing with their own personal issues. So you're talking about 16, 17, 15-year-old kids. They're just dealing with the issues of growth that a regular kid should have to deal with. And you're talking about, you throw poverty on top of that, unemployment, parents struggling, substance abuse. They're dealing with some real issues. And so this distracted us away from the protests, away from the Freddie Gray issue. And I really hope that we can get back to that issue.
Well, I know you're concerned about that, because now we have, you know, basically two very important conversations taking place. But I know you're concerned that the focus is away from the issue of police brutality.
Oh, yeah. And so you talk about poverty. What was the effects of poverty just even on these kids' behavior coming from these tough neighborhoods? And you go back to the Freddie Gray issue, these beat down, tore up neighborhoods that are struggling with unemployment, poverty, and that has a lot to do with how the police deal with these individuals in these neighborhoods. Because the same way the police, they don't deal with an individual in Upper Park Heights the same way they would deal with an individual from Pennsylvania Avenue. It's a lot different. And so you can't say that, like, poverty is not a factor in that whole scenario.
As someone who works with young people, what would you say to someone right now who is looking at this and feeling a sense of hopelessness and perhaps not having great faith in how some of these investigations may pan out? What would you say?
I'd say be patient, give it time. I feel confident that these officers will be brought to justice. This is a national issue now. It's not just a Baltimore issue. So we got the whole world watching. We got the White House watching. We got the Justice Department here in Baltimore. This is not an issue that they're going to be able to sweep under the rug. And another thing, my question is, why would they? If these are bad seeds, if these officers actually did this to this 25-year-old man, they need to be brought to justice.
Do you have faith in the political leaders in the city?
I know where their compassion lies. I know, and I met with the mayor and the police commissioner last week before the incident that happened over the weekend and yesterday. I know where their hearts lie, and I know the passion is real. And hopefully that'll be the driving force that helped them in their job.
We've been talking a lot about the power of the clergy in this situation. Do you feel that in many ways that they can kind of help move this forward in a positive way?
Oh yeah, because they have a huge influence in the community. They're respected in the community, and their voices is a voice that many people listen to. And so I think they'll be a factor.
In your own words, you said to me before we started that you were a knucklehead.
A young knucklehead.
A young knucklehead. Yeah. So I ask you, if you were out on the streets in the last day or so, and you were of that age, how do you think you would have responded?
You know what? To be honest with you, at that age, I was lost. I was misguided. I grew up with a substance abusing parent myself, so I get it. I understand. And so there's a chance that I might have been one of those young kids running around doing, you know, negative things. My hope is that these kids have someone positive in their life, a teacher, a parent, a sister, a cousin, that can guide them through this storm, and hopefully this won't be the thing that destroys the rest of their life. You know, because yesterday, hopefully that was a hiccup, and that won't continue.
Kevin Sherd, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for talking to us.